Gentlemen, the single most valuable way you can spend your time is by dedicating it to learning. It is always going to serve you well and be a valuable asset to have an understanding of the way things work, be able to question things, be able to form a perspective that is based in information and fact. It's always going to do you well to have a bit of an understanding of how this wonderful world works. And one of the best ways that you can cultivate such an understanding is failure. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to give you an immediate example that is, in fact, this video. I know that I am going to consistently find myself, along the duration of this video, slipping up on words and making little errors that will incline me to stop the recording and try again. Now, what is important for you to remember is that these little errors that happen on this microphone are exactly what open the door to learning. When you fail at something, when you find something so difficult that you stumble on your words, or you can't recall something, or you can't lift something, when there is friction there that seems too heavy, too much, that is exactly when you are doing the best possible thing you can do for yourself. It's very important that we distinguish and understand that failure and learning are two things that go hand in hand, and the goal that comes from them is exactly what you are looking for if you're someone who wants to improve. In actual fact, no matter how you cut it, anyone who is watching this video you will be someone who wants to improve. And in the desire to improve, you will value intelligence and you will value the aforementioned traits. You want to be someone who is smart. Of course you do. You probably already are. But it's integral that we know that when we try and do things that will progress us and will get us to the promised land of improvement, that we're going to encounter moments where we feel directly opposite to what it is we're looking to feel. Now, for the example at hand, I would love to come across on this mic as eloquent and as well spoken as I aim to one day be, but I recognise that at this point in time I'm still new. This mic is something that is still somewhat foreign to be in front of me, and with that I can't articulate in the way that I would like to a lot of the time. What is important for me to remember, and more specifically what it is important for you to remember, is that when you start something, or even when you have been doing something for quite a long time, there is a requirement in order to grow that you accept what it feels like to fail and what it feels like to be new at things. And the best perspective that I can provide for this is that when you feel that discomfort because you're starting something new and it's not working for you, you feel like you're stumbling over your words, or you feel like you're not achieving what it is you're looking to achieve, you are in exactly the place you should be with regard to achieving what you'd like to achieve. If you embrace failure in its simple form, you will actually learn and see that there's a real joy in failure. In a funny way, it feels good to fail when you recognize that if you're in a position where you can fail, you're in a position where you can grow. And what is important for you to remember when you're learning, when you're growing, is that essentially every moment provides an opportunity to work towards what it is that you're working towards. Now, self-improvement is a fantastic thing exactly for this point, because there's never a moment that you can't put yourself towards this goal. And look, I'm not going to go ad nauseum on this. If you're someone who's watching this video, you are someone who wants to improve, and thus this applies to you. Every moment you will be able to put yourself towards exactly what it is that you're working towards. Anything that you're interested in becoming is something that you can pursue with every moment. And what I would kind of add to this as a side point, if it's not something you've considered, is that if your goal is physical endurance, you want to get better in the gym, say, then this on the surface looks as though it's something you can't improve at every moment, but you can always improve the way that you think about the goal that you're pursuing. And one of the best tools that I could put forth for you on any topic is embracing what it is that I've said here. Embracing the fact that if you can look at you can look at failure rather as a necessary part of learning, and learning as something that you want, then you can really learn, ironically, to find the joy in failure. I think it's also, whilst I'm here, I think it's very important to address the fact that when you're trying to improve on an academic basis, there's this kind of paradoxical effect that can occur. You find yourself listening to these academics that are so far beyond your bracket. You know, for me, it's someone like Alex O'Connor or Jordan Peterson, or even Chris Williamson is fantastically well read, and I find him difficult to understand at points because simple brain. When you're looking into these people, it's very easy to feel like you are so much far further behind them, and as a result, it kind of puts you off. And what I want to lay here and make absolutely obvious is that when you're working towards things, you will be looking up at people. And as a result of looking up at people, you're going to have a skewed perception of your own ability. Now, in actual fact, if you're anyone listening to this, I would put a good amount of money on the fact you're also someone who knows all the people that I've just spoken about. You'll be in these circles. And as a result, it's quite possible that at some point you found yourself thinking essentially what it is that I've just said there. And I would urge you to remember that in the process of surrounding yourself with peers that are exceeding your level and that are, kind of, you're almost awestruck by whatever it is that they impose, whatever it is that they kind of speak to you about. If it's Mike Israetel, you'll kind of go, wow, look at the fucking muscles. If it's Jordan Peterson, you say, wow, the intellect. You look at these people and you can be so awestruck that you kind of denigrate yourself. And a valuable perspective I would like you to try is, in the process of feeling inferior to these people, you are getting closer and closer to their level of comprehension. So this dawned on me when I was listening to Alex O'Connor, who, if you don't know Alex O'Connor, he is a fantastically well-read intellectual who is... He does a lot in the religious in the religious sphere, and he's very, very intelligent. And I was watching him talk, and I thought, wow, I really am quite stupid. And in the process of that thought, I thought, actually, whilst I'm sat here thinking, God, this guy is so much smarter than I am learning his perspective on things, even to a partial extent, and I am even incrementally getting closer to his level of understanding of the world because I'm listening to what it is that he is saying. You will find yourself in this position very consistently. When you improve, you feel out of your depth a lot of the time. Now, I would also like to add on that point that working towards your goals will very often feel like you're working away from them. We can all relate to that feeling of, rather than running towards something, being chased by something. We're kind of running away from something as opposed to going toward the goal. And that thing can quite often be you can be motivated by this fear of no longer improving. And what I think is very important for people to know is, most of the time, if you feel like you're someone who's falling behind or not doing enough work or anything of similar feeling, it's quite likely that you are doing the polar opposite. It's a very consistent theme that people of purpose and drive and success are constantly feeling like they're not doing enough. Now, you can argue the mental state of this is a difficult one, but also it's exactly the thing that continues to drive you forth. So if you're someone who feels like you are not doing enough work, you're not getting enough in, you're falling behind, please be aware of the fact that this thought in itself is inherent to someone who is doing exactly what it is you hope yourself to be doing. If you are feeling this, then I would put money and stake plenty of claim on the fact that actually the fear that you're feeling is exactly what is making you not be what it is that you feel that you are, if that makes sense. If you're worried about not working enough, it's quite likely that you're working plenty, and the reason why you're working plenty is because you're worried. Now, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that. Gentlemen, chaps, love you all. I hope this video has helped.